Dad says when you can't fish, you can always get ready to fish. So it's raining outside today, not a day for me to go kayak fishing. I am not that hardcore, so I'm gonna go over my kayak setup. This is an ocean kayak, Trident 15. It's 15 and a half feet long. It tracks like a torpedo. It's just a paddle kayak. It's very easy to paddle. Floats in just a few inches of water. And for me, I'm a minimalist. As you can see, I just have the one rod. I am not talented enough or maybe agile enough to have more than one rod. If I take more than one rod, I just end up with two rods in a tangled mess pretty quickly. I see a lot of kayaks with all kinds of gear, including trolling motors and multiple rod holders, depth finders, of course, and all that type of stuff. That's not what I do. I love this kayak, and I'm going to go over my kayak setup, and just in case people get the idea, like, hey, I want to get into kayak fishing. I don't know about all this gear, or just people have different opinions. For me, it's simple and it's easy. This is how I hold my paddle. It's just a bungee over this little guy right here. So they're mounted in the track here just to hold it. But my Canon paddle, you can actually adjust both the length and feather it. I always just do it straight, but you can adjust the length. I usually put it all the way out unless I'm in really shallow water or maybe going through some mangroves. And of course I got a gear keeper leash. I think this is the medium or the 56-inch leash or something like that. Gear keeper leash that I got there, and so I just keep it stowed right there. All right, so let's come down here to my fishing rod. I'm right-handed. I always keep my fishing rod on the right-hand side there. I got a Shimano Stratic, brand new, and a Bull Bay rod. Got a 15-pound super Power Pro Super Slick on there, and probably a 30-pound leader. And then for this rig here, it's probably a few $100s in that setup, maybe $400. And I don't want to, if I dump the kayak, I don't want to drop the rod. So I've got a gear keeper retractor on here. It's a real light 3-ounce gear keeper retractor. So if I dump it, I'm not going to lose it. And that thing's pretty much out of the way. It's such a light pull that it's not really interfering with me. I can't even tell it's there. So you snap it on there, and I got it looped around and to keep it there. Of course, I got my Baitshark for my bait. I got my Baitshark is connected right here. Of course, when I'm underway, you can see it in the pictures. When I'm underway, it's all the way back there where it's supposed to be. No drag. I got a 10-foot cast net. It's a chain cast net or chain link around the edge. Of course, I don't have to bring that with me on the kayak. I end up using that bait bucket the 5-gallon bucket. Like if I find trash around, that thing ends up being the trash can. So floating along, there's a beer can or water bottle or whatever. I'll just pick it up and I'll throw it in there. So I end up looking sometimes like a garbage scow at the end of the day. And then I got a 5-pound mushroom anchor. And I'll show you a little setup trick that I got from Kayak Hacks, which is I got an anchor trolley here. Okay, and the way that I set it up is you can see that I've got a little stainless clip for this. So I can undo that clip, but I take the stainless clip, I send it through that thing right there, and then tie it off. And when you're tying it off, it doesn't take much. You don't have to go around there like 15 times or anything, but as you're tying it off, let's see if I can do this with one hand, left-handed. You're tying it off, go around. Let me do it this way. I'm gonna go around once, twice, and on the third pass, you just take that thing, let's see if I can get it here. Take that and you fold it over like that so that you can see that that line is going underneath there, and that locks it in. And I probably could get by with like a you know, for this little 5-pound anchor, I don't even need a rope this thick. And then I like this. I did this years ago when I dumped my kayak one time. This really worked out great. It's just a little foam card with a hole in it. And this is and so if I drop this whole deal in the water, this will just unroll, and this will be floating with the. It's like a marker, just like a marker, you know. So that's how I stow the line when it's not in use. So usually, you know, most of the time that the Baitshark is usually in the water, but sometimes, you know, you just get in there, you know, getting started, paddle a few strokes, or maybe you're done. End of the day, I'm done fishing, I'm ready. I'll dump my bait if I got any left, and I'll put my Baitshark back in here. So then there's, you know, it's not even in the way. We're not even pull and drag at all. So that's my kayak setup. So I hope this is useful for somebody. Let me just look at this really quick. I love this little feature here. I think a lot of kayaks have it. A little magnetic keeper there. So if you get you're switching gear or something like that, and you get a jig head or a hook or something like that, and you just toss it on there, and now it's going to stay put because it's magnetic. Of course, I got some Danco pliers, and everything's lashed down. So if I dump this kayak, I mean, that bucket right there will come out, but everything else is connected. So I don't think I've ever dumped this kayak yet. I dumped my previous one. It's going to happen eventually, you know. If you're on the water enough, it'll happen. So that's my kayak setup. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time.